Hello, I'm Otitum Speaks. Today I'm going to talk about the border again. Some interesting things have developed since not my last video, but the video before when I talked about illegal immigration. The Department of Justice, Department of Homeland Security are suing the state of Texas for passing a law saying Texas is going to enforce our border laws, federal border patrol laws, but border patrol nonetheless. The feds are saying, no, you can't do that. That's our job. Governor Abbott of Texas is saying, well, then do your job. The federal government returns by saying no. So it's their job to do something. They refuse to do it. So the state says, okay, we'll do it. The government sues them. What's going on here, people? I need you to think about what's happening. What I just said. It's their job to do it. They refuse to do it. Just think about this if you're in the workplace. And someone's job is to take out the trash. Right? And you say, hey, can you do me a favor, take out the trash? And they say, no, I'm not doing that. And you say, yeah, but it's your job. And they say, okay, I'm not doing it. And you say, okay, fine. And you take out the trash, and then they complain to HR. That's what's happening with the federal government. Only, this is dangerous what they're doing. Because they're letting in terrorists. They have already admitted that they know terrorist cells are in this country, and how they got here was through the southern border. So they know that there's terrorists here. They know how they got here, but they refuse to enforce laws that cover the way that they got here. And moreover, they're suing Texas for doing it for them. They're not thanking them, they're suing them. That would suggest to me that they want the illegals here. And even scarier, they want terrorists here. I can't think of another reason why they would be upset for somebody doing their job. Like, I don't understand why the federal government would take the time to sue a state. And here's what's crazy. It is in the Constitution that border control is the federal government's job. So they're going to win the case. They're going to sue and they're going to stop Texas from doing the federal government's job. Think about that. They do not want it enforced. They are actively breaking the law. What we have happening here is that Congress have written laws to enforce the border, and the people who have sworn an oath to uphold those laws are saying no. As a matter of fact, we will sue you. We will use the judicial branch to sue you for doing the job. Something else happened. New York has paid over $7 million to ship illegals out of New York. I know you guys remember them saying they wanted them all here. We want them all here. We're going to take care of them. We're compassionate. We're not like those evil states where they actually want to control the population within their state and they actually try to control crime. We don't do that. We're sanctuary city. So what happens? Governor Abbott starts sending illegals where they say they want them. This is a sanctuary. Okay, here, take them. What do? They sue. Mayor Adams has spent over $7 million transporting illegals out of his city into other cities and states. And now he's suing Governor Abbott for doing the exact same thing. How much money does he want? $300 to $700 million. We got to take care of all these people.
In New York, I don't, weigh into immigration issues, border issues. I have to provide services for families that are here, and that's what we're going to do. And that's what our responsibility as a city. I'm proud that this is a right to shelter state, and we're going to continue to do that. New York is a city that has always represented the democratic values and the values of our city of showing our compassion, and that's what we're doing today. We never thought we would be at a point where we have to build out the hercs that we're building out. But with the lack of hotel space, we indicated the number of emergency hotels that we opened. We know that as this crisis continues to grow without help, we're going to have to continue to use the brain power of those who are standing next to me to continue to modify and shift accordingly. And the real challenges that we're having, which is very fascinating, is that as we try to find hotels, I cannot tell you how many council people, local electeds that are yelling, house people, but saying, not in my district. We are facing a crisis as it continues to unfold, and this administration has been staying ahead of the crisis. And I would say over and over again that when you look at other municipalities, you're seeing people sleep on the streets, you'll see people sleeping in airports, you'll see people really trying to manage a crisis that we're doing. We have assisted migrants with asylum applications, but we are past our breaking point. New Yorkers' compassion may be limitless, but our resources are not. And our partners at the state and federal levels know this. We continue to face impossible decisions about allocating our resources. And that means a lose-lose for our most vulnerable New Yorkers, as well as those seeking asylum. On why we still, almost 20 months later, we're still talking about this issue, and it has inundated the city, over 150,000. In Massachusetts, they got close to 7,500, and they're saying, hey, we can't handle it anymore. Yeah. We're at 150,000. It's $5 billion in our budget, $12 billion over the 3-year period. It is really impacting the basic services in our city, and we need a relief. Would you vote for someone else in the upcoming election that says, I want to take a different approach to the border? Well, when it comes down to presidential races, it's more than just one specific item. This is a painful one, but it's the totality of what the policies that they stand for. And when I look at the field now, Biden is the person that I would vote for. You asked for them. You asked for them. And now you're suing the people who are sending them. Well, we don't have the capacity to take care of all these people. Neither does Texas. That's why they're asking the federal government to do their job. The federal government is saying, no, we're not doing our job, and you're not doing it either, or we're going to sue you too. This is where we are. In Black America, I said it 1,000 times. Matter of fact, I'm going to play part of one of my videos saying that we're being replaced. They're actively doing it. They are suing for the ability to replace you. What I believe their true goal is to gain votes. It's the only thing that makes sense. It's the only thing that's not self-destructive. They know that their policies have consistently destroyed major municipalities, and they need a new block of people to vote. I've been saying this for years. I am 100% convinced that they're trying to replace the black vote. What are you going to do about it? The problem is, Black America is very, very, very spoiled. We have the luxury of freedom of speech to say that we don't like this country. What has America done for us? When was America ever great? That was a big line during Trump's first election. Make America great again. When was it ever great? This is Black Americans saying the number one, or one of the, we'll say the top few complaints that Black America has. One of them is schools, right? The answer is charter schools and school choice, but we can't talk about that. So they'll complain, well, our kids don't have laptops. They did a lot of that during COVID. Our kids don't have internet access. These are complaints. These are actual complaints of black people in America. Black Americans will say that. The people from these other countries are coming from places that don't have drinkable water. They're coming from places that they don't have food. In the case of Venezuela, they're coming from places where they had to start eating their pets. And you're talking about internet access. And I think Black America does this because a lot of black people don't travel outside of the states. They don't even travel outside of their city. So they really don't understand how good they have it. Now, when you're like me and you travel and you go other countries, you realize, whoo, I'm glad I live in America. I'm really glad I live in America.
Because it's very, very, very easy to see when you get to these other countries and you're staying at a resort or you're docked somewhere and they have armed military people, full semi-automatic weapons, to protect the American people who have the luxury of being able to travel to their country. This is their biggest source of income. They protect it by any means necessary. They will shoot their own locals. That's how serious it is. It is a huge source of income. If you travel otherwise by plane, you will see very quickly what a real ghetto is, what the real hood is. Even in Puerto Rico, that's a territory. These people are coming from places where there are trash piles because they don't have landfills. They don't have proper infrastructure to get rid of their own trash. Some of these people come from places where they have to turn electricity off on this side of the block for a certain amount of time. And then these people over here can use the electricity. And then the next day, these people don't have electricity. And then these people are able to use theirs. They're rationing water and energy. And we're complaining about internet access and schools with old books. They don't have books. These people have different problems than we have. We are spoiled. And we're too arrogant and narcissistic to realize it. You agree with me? You disagree with me? Like, comment. Definitely comment. I love comments. Subscribe. Share. I'm O. Tatum Speaks. Bring it. Let's talk about it.